On this right now, we can't talk. Gotta hang up. Excuse me? Hello, sir.
Step over here.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fine.
Step over here. Step over here.
You're pointing that way.
Over here.
You're pointing
You
that
go
way.
that way.
You're pointing this way.
Okay. Right here.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Why? What's
Put
going
your
on?
phone down.
What am I being held for? What am I?
Why are you guys following a vehicle? Don't step on it.
I'm sorry?
Why are you guys following a car that's got a custody unit?
I don't know that. I don't have a
You got some
weapon.
ID?
No.
You don't have any ID.
Do I need ID for this stop?
Yeah.
For what? What am I being detained for?
You're being detained because you guys are following a vehicle that has a custody. You're following the
I'm
police
unsure of that. I don't know. How do I know this? And what am I being detained for? Am I free to go?
Obstructing. No, you're not.
Again, why am I going to identify myself? What was this for?
Okay. You guys are following a patrol vehicle that has a custody in it.
I don't know this.
Okay.
And I can follow anyone in public without any. I'm not in the way. I'm not blocking someone. I'm not in the way. I'm not agitating anyone. Agitation would be. Are you investigating, or is this person?
Why don't you talk to my detective first?
Okay, I'm sorry.
How about I'll take
I'm
it
sorry.
over?
I'd rather talk to one
Let's place
person
him in
at a
cuffs.
time.
I'm placing you in cuffs for
Put your phone in fire.
Okay.
interfering and obstructing.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very clear what you're doing here.
I don't know what you're saying,
Even the bumper stickers on your vehicle prove that
It's not my
support
vehicle.
what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm being detained for.
Obstructing. That's
Again.
you're being detained.
Okay.
You're preventing the
I'm
officer.
gonna affect Fifth Amendment at this point. I'm not talking anymore.
Okay.
Okay, so in
Because
that
you
case,
do have the right to remain silent. Anything
Yeah.
you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right at this time to talk to an attorney, have them present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney,
Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement all over the country on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, use of force, advanced criminal investigations, etc. And today we have a video. I want to just talk about case law, facts, and then I want to talk about what my opinion is on this particular video. So as we can see here, there appears to be some kind of activist that's recording law enforcement. Law enforcement doesn't like it. Apparently they have a custody in the vehicle, so they go ahead and stop the person for that, for obstruction essentially, and end up making an in custody arrest. And so let's talk about the case law. Well, as you guys know, and depending on how you look at this, was this a traffic stop or was it not? Personally, if they're in a vehicle and you're stopping them, I'm absolutely going to consider that to be a traffic stop. So what's needed for a traffic stop is the same thing that's what's going to be needed for, a stop on a street. So we'll just talk about both case laws here real quick. So let's talk about case law on a traffic stop. You need what's called reasonable articulable suspicion. And there's many state cases, circuit cases, and Supreme Court cases, most notably United States v. Cortez, 1981, as you can see there on your screen. A case law you guys are all familiar with, Brown v. Texas, 1979. The United States Supreme Court has held and affirmed that law enforcement needs reasonable articulable suspicion in order to detain and compel somebody to identify themselves. Okay, perfect. Now, what we need to understand is, yes, the minimum standard for traffic stop is reasonable articulable suspicion. What's required to make an in-custody arrest is probable cause. So probable cause is what's going to be needed. And so, how I describe probable cause, and when I'm asked to describe probable cause, whether that's going to be, whether that's going to be on the street or, on the stand, probable cause are facts and observations that would lead you to believe, more likely than not, that criminal activity has occurred. Okay, as you can see there on your screen, probable cause. And so the reason why this is important is because in order to make the arrest, they needed probable cause. So what was the probable cause of? Well, obstructing a police officer. So let's look at the state of Oklahoma. We have very specific, we call it a jury instruction, and a jury instruction is what the elements that have to be proven in order for you to, arrest, convict somebody of a crime. And so here it is, OUJI-CR6-48. No person may be convicted of obstructing an officer in the performance of his or her duties unless the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt each element of the crime. These elements are 1, willfully; 2, delayed, obstructed; 3, a specific police officer; 4th, known to the defendant to be a police officer; 5th, in the discharge of any duties of his or her office. Now, the reason why that this is important, and the reason why it's important to understand this, is because I don't know, and again, I just based on off the video, but I don't really think you have enough to convict somebody for obstructing a police officer. Now, I know what some of the cops are going to say. You're going to say, well, we know emphatically without equivocation that people that are utilizing these tactics, especially the left, right? And I'm only mentioning that because he brought up bumper stickers. And we don't know what what content those bumper stickers were, but let's just give an example that would be relevant. You know, an officer could say, well, I know based on my training experience that, for example, in Minneapolis, Portland, San Diego, all these places we're conducting ICE operations, people of this mentality or of this culture have been assaulting police officers and conducting violence. 100% true. I'd 100% agree with that. Now, to broad stroke brush all people that would be leftists or all people that would be conservative, I just don't think that's a winning argument anywhere, right? I don't want to base an opinion off of just a broad stroke. I want to be able to have articulable facts and case law that I can use to say, yes, this was my determination and this is how I came with it. I don't think that they're there with the fact that he's recording and he's following. I would want more than that if I was going to make an arrest. And the reason why I'd want more than that is because here we have United States Supreme Court has affirmed in Tompkins v. Clark 2022, SCOTUS affirmed that a plaintiff suing for malicious prosecution does not have to be affirmatively exonerated of committing the alleged crime, right? So this is important because in order to produce a civil lawsuit, 42 U.S.C. 1983 lawsuit or whatever, charges don't have to be exonerated. If they're dropped, that's good enough to go forward according to SCOTUS. And so the reason why I think this is important is because, number one, again, I think that this person goes to court, they get an attorney, they're not going to be able to prove. I just don't think they're going to be able to get convicted for delaying or obstructing, especially with custody in the vehicle. Really, the question is, why did you stop the vehicle? Did they prevent you from going to the jail? Did they prevent you from anything that you were doing, right? Is it illegal to drive on a highway? Is it illegal to record law enforcement? Is it illegal to follow somebody in their car lawfully, right? Outside of a protection order, outside of something that prevents you from doing it, is it unlawful to do? Answer is no. And so my personal opinion, those are the facts. My personal opinion on this is a tactic that activists are now using to distract law enforcement. I think it's perfect because you're taking a law enforcement officer out of their traditional duties in order to, have them deal with somebody that's not involved. What do I mean by that? Well, I think if you are going to do nefarious activities, number one, I think the best way to get away with it is to take law enforcement officers out of patrol, out of the ability to find that criminality, and the best way to take law enforcement out of the fight, so to speak, the best way to take them out of discovering other criminality is to distract them. I think this is a great distraction tool, and I think that we are seeing this being used more and more and more by activists because cops buy into it. That's what they're doing. They're using this as a tactic against law enforcement, and it's a very I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a very good tactic because law enforcement is biting, right? Okay, cool. I'm going to get arrested. The charges are not going to stick. I'm going to be able to then countersuit, right? And that's going to cause officers to be more and more wary of these activists, which again allow more. So it's almost like activists are slowly. It's like the Pavlov dog, right? They're slowly conditioning officers to think and feel the way they want them to. And I think that sets a very dangerous precedent. There are other tactics and ways that you can overcome this. So when law enforcement seeing these issues, they need to immediately be like, okay, this is something I haven't seen before. What is our best defensive tactic against these tactics that are being used against us? And the reason why we know this works is because we have whole governmental doctrines dedicated to this very thing, right? Counterintelligence. We have all sorts of, again, governmental doctrines, military doctrines that are dedicated to preventing distractions, dedicated to counter surveillance, right? So if somebody's counter surveilling, you have counter surveilling techniques. If you have people that are doing this, you have the counter to that, right? And we see this in all various different doctrines. And law enforcement, again, is always the last one to get on the horn when it comes to being preventive and getting ahead of this type of stuff. So I just see this as a great distraction tool for law enforcement that they're buying into every single day. Every single day, law enforcement is allowing their ego to take control, allowing their emotions to take control of them, and are being distracted. And distractions is what kills. Distractions is what doesn't get the job done. So again, you can be law enforcement. You can think any way you want, just like I can. I'm active law enforcement too. I see these as distraction tools that activists are using, and so I think the best thing is to come up with countermeasures for these, and then continue about active patrol. So there you have it. Hope this video was helpful for you guys. But tell me what you think. More importantly, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this is a distraction tool? Do you think these are tactics that are being used against law enforcement? Do you think these are successful tactics? And if you were law enforcement, how would you defeat these tactics that are being used? I'm curious to know what you have to say in the comment section below. As always, guys, long live the Republic.